Colorado Supreme Court recently said Donald Trump's not allowed on the ballot because he allegedly, they say he engaged in insurrection or rebellion.
One of the craziest decisions that I've seen, and it's terrible. Half the country wants to vote for Donald Trump, somewhere around half. And, if another country did that, like Pakistan or Iran,
we would sanction them.
Well, yeah, we'd say that's not really a democracy. I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump. That's why I'm running against him. I don't want to beat him in a fixed, fight. And what's going to happen if they do that, if they succeed, which I don't think they will. The decision is crazy. But, then it's going to leave half the people angry. And rightly so, they should be. People should be able to vote for who they want to vote for. It was no due process. He wasn't convicted of insurrection.
Or even indicted, yeah.
Or indicted for it. So, and there was no evidentiary hearing. And this is a hugely consequential sanction, not with a consequence to him, but also to our whole country. And you're going to do that without due process, without him being given the essential democratic function that, of being able to confront your accusers and, all of these things that we guarantee people who are criminally charged. And we're not going to give him that. It's a crazy decision. It was a split decision. It was 4-3.
Yeah, and it certainly foments more radicalism in the country.
Of course, they're trying to hurt Donald Trump. To me, this is going to help him because it's going to fortify people's belief that the system is rigged and it's rigged against them, and that they're trying to, they're trying to screw the little guy.
Yep, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. As we see, this is what it's come down to. And great news today. I'm just going to pull this up here so we can all look at the results together. The results are in. The results are coming in still. This was called pretty early, actually. It was only 64% of the vote in. It was called at like 5 p.m. Nikki Haley's not doing that bad. She's not that far behind. But I'm just going to refresh just to show you who is winning here. And then we'll go and look at, this is New Hampshire primary. There are, 20? Let me pull up my notes here. I believe there are 22 delegates up for grabs is what they're looking for. Trump already has 20. If he can get all 22, that's 42, close to 50. He only needs a little bit over 1,000 to win the nomination. Now, as we look at the different counties, you can see what's going on here. By the way, when I first opened up this website here, wtopnews.com, they showed the candidates. Trump was not on there. You had to actually click down here, and Trump was way down at the bottom. So you can see a lot of people just wasting their votes, wasting their time here. And I guess that's really not fair. In the end, we know that it's not a waste, but I mean, come on. These people have dropped out. 151 for Mike Pence, who's dropped out. Vivek Ramaswamy, who's dropped out, 280 something. Even Ron DeSantis dropped out. 475 for Chris Christie. Now, the interesting thing about this primary is that it did allow, I believe Trump said like about 4,000 non-Republicans to actually vote, who could really screw this vote. And the governor has really done a terrible job, definitely supporting neocon Nikki. And that's where we are right now. But the results are in. We know who won. President Trump wins again. That's a good thing for everybody. It's a good thing for the world. So right now, he has over 54% with 65% of the vote in. What I like about this is we can actually go down here county by county and actually look at where Trump is. Trump is the purple and Haley. So Haley won the first one, which I think was, this one? One of these. Haley won, got the 6 there. Boom. But you see a lot of things. So she's not doing that bad here in this state. But these could be never Trumpers also going for it. But when you tally it up, when you add it all up, That's what really matters. So even though we see she's not doing that bad, she came out and pretty much gave like a victory speech, and I'm going to play a little bit of that. But you can see all of these different counties, and a lot of it is going to Donald Trump, as it rightfully should. Here's an interesting thing, though. Let's look at the Democrat side. Look who won, the write-in. I don't even know why he opted out. Why did he even opt out then? There's still 33,000 unprocessed write-ins. Those are probably going to go to Joe Biden too. So he won as the write-in candidate. Why did they take their name off of the ballot in this case? I don't understand this Democrat logic here. But then again, I don't understand why anybody would write in Joe Biden, but they did. They did after he snubbed them. And this is how loyal some of these people are to Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. They're never Trumpers too. And that's it. So the Democrat side, very weird, very strange. But on the Republican side, it's a clear winner. Once again, Donald Trump has won, and everybody can go to bed tonight and sleep well with that knowledge. That's great. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I have some clips here kind of queued up, but I just wanted to show those results. So hopefully as we get more results, 70% of the vote is in, and it's more and more for Trump. Let's go and look at some of this here. There we go. All right, I'm going to play this little clip. It's a 5-minute clip. It's going to explain everything in a more articulate way.
Bill, what's the latest?
Away from Joe Biden, and rightfully so. And that's just my view on it. I'll play a little bit more of, I want to play this clip because I think this is really good. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing. Trump's speech went about 20 minutes or so. Nikki Haley's was about 10 minutes. And then I have a couple other clips, but also a new RFK Jr. clip from the Team Kennedy 24, the YouTube channel. So I'll try to play as much as I can here in the next 20, 30 minutes or so. But let's listen in with the greatest president, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you for the victory. It's wonderful. Or I can go up and say, who the hell was the imposter that went up on the stage before and claimed a victory? She did very poorly, actually. She had to win. The governor said, she's going to win, she's going to win, she's going to win. Then she failed badly. Now I have here, if he promises to do it in a minute or less, but the only person more angry than, let's say me, but I don't get too angry, I get even. The only person, because he was there, and he did fantastically well, by the way, and then he endorsed me. And we don't have to talk about Tim Scott, who, by the way, just got engaged, we have to tell you. And that's more important than all of this stuff. But a man that got to know her very well is Vivek. I said, Vivek, go up and say a few words about it. He has to do it in 1 minute or less. And then we're going to just say, we had one hell of a night tonight. And one other thing before Vivek comes. Do you see that poll? We're going to put it up. We have beaten Biden. You could almost say, who can't? Who the hell can't? The man can't put two sentences together. He can't find the stairs off a stage. Who can't? But Vivek, 1 minute or less. Go do it, Vivek.
What we saw tonight is America first defeating America last. That's what we saw tonight. If you want America last, you can go to Joe Biden. You got another candidate still apparently in the Republican primary. Cut your Social Security to fork over more money to Ukraine so some kleptocrat can buy a bigger house. Go to Nikki Haley. But you know who delivered a double-digit victory tonight? It is a double-digit victory as of right now, is this man, Donald J. Trump, the leader of America First. And that means something. Now, USA and Donald Trump, America First. Now, I got 30 seconds left. I want to make this point here, okay? We got to say this. We got to say this right. What we see right now with her continuing in this race is the ugly underbelly of American politics, where the mega donors are trying to do one thing when we, the people, say another.
Yep.
And it's up to us, to we, the people, to at long last say, hell no. We, the people, create a government that is accountable to us. And we, the people, have said tonight, we want, again, as we did in Iowa, Donald J. Trump. And so you want to actually speak truth. That's the truth tonight. And the only thing they're rooting for is an ugly thing that we don't want to see happen. That's what these people are rooting for, is playing to say long enough so the Reid Hoffmans and the ugly Democratic George Soros Jr.'s who are funding the lawsuits against Trump can prop up their puppet. We say no to that vision. I say the general election begins tonight, and this man will win it in a landslide. God bless you, Donald J. Trump. Vote Trump, USA.
Very nice. Wasn't that nice? So this was a great evening, and I want to thank everybody in the audience, and I want to thank the people that are standing behind me.
Yeah. Okay. Just a few more clips, but this sums it up very, very nicely. And you can see it's all about just prolonging what we know the outcome is going to be. It's going to be Donald J. Trump. He's going to win the primary, and I believe he's going to win in any fair election. He will win. He will win. The momentum is there. Everything is there. All that he needs is right there. And then I do want to go and just quickly show this, because we have more results coming in, and they're coming in slowly, which is kind of odd. But as of right now, 75% of the vote in, and you can see where Donald Trump is. So I don't know how many delegates he's going to go away with. That's going to be the main thing. How many delegates? And Nikki Haley is definitely going to have some delegates. She's going to come away with some delegates from this too. So what I like about this wtop.com website, you can go here and track each candidate delegate count and see when the next primary and caucus takes place. So we will be doing that as well. I've been following both of these guys because at some point, Donald Trump and RFK Jr. have to announce who their vice president is just to get on some of these ballots. RFK Jr. has a little more time, but Trump has got to do it pretty soon. Pretty soon he has to announce who the vice president is. And Vivek Ramaswamy seems like a really good choice. So we'll see what happens. But I think Trump is going to pick somebody that has been loyal to him from the beginning. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. But it'll be interesting to see who his vice presidential pick is, and who does RFK Jr. pick. Does he pick Tulsi Gabbard? Does RFK Jr. pick Jesse Ventura? I'd like to see him pick Jesse Ventura. I don't know. I don't want to see either of them pandering and they pick a woman just to have a woman there. Pick the best person. Pick the best vice presidential candidate. That's it. As Trump said the other day, when you think about the qualities of a vice president, you want a vice president who can take over as a president, because if something happens to Trump, that's the next person in line. So the mentality is there. The right mentality is there. And so we'll see what happens in the end. All right. So let us go back just a few more clips here. I hate ads. I'm sure you all do too. Let's go.
political analyst, Marianne Marsh, and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Rob, let's start with you. She obviously wasn't doing enough here to close the gap. The AP called the race for her. She's apparently conceding here just up the road in Concord. How close will she be able to keep the margin?
I mean, it looks like she may be within single digits, but single digits is not a win. And, you know, to go on in this race, I mean, this is the best possible electorate for Nikki Haley. There's a lot of highly educated voters. Independents can vote in the Republican primary. They probably comprised 40 to 45% of it, if not more. Where she goes from here are Republican closed primaries, like in South Carolina. Donald Trump's getting 75% of the Republican vote. So I just don't see a path for her to win from here. She had to win in New Hampshire. She did not win in New Hampshire.
Marianne Marsh, she's going to try to portray this as a victory and stay in this race.
She is, but a participation trophy isn't enough for Nikki Haley to move on in this race. The fact is she had to win here. She did not. Everyone will try to argue the margins and, you know, spin it all around. She came out first tonight to try to make that case, stepping on the announcement of Trump being the winning and trying to define her path forward. But the reality is she'll get to South Carolina and realize she has nowhere to go.
Let me ask you, though, she is running, for all intents and purposes, essentially against an incumbent. He's not the sitting president, but he was the president 4 years ago. And she may get close to the 50% margin. Is that not a victory?
It's not, and she's now, again, behind in delegates. He's going to get the lion's shares of delegates again. She's behind from Iowa. Once you get behind in this, it is so hard to close the gap. And if she can't win here, tell me anywhere she can. You can't find one.
So she's not on the ballot again, Rob, until February 24th, a month from tomorrow, in South Carolina, that primary. She's not competing in the Nevada caucuses in a couple of weeks.
Right.
So, you know, Ron DeSantis said he was going to be in it through the long haul, at least through South Carolina. Then what? 36 hours after that announcement, he got out shortly after Iowa. What dries up here for her? Is money going to dry up? Is she going to realize there's no path forward? Is she going to try to, you know, kind of maybe repair some of the relationships with the Trump folks so she could get a cabinet job? How does this play out?
Listen, very few Republicans who won Iowa and New Hampshire in the first place, and no Republican who's won both has ever lost a nomination. So I think that Haley's big donors are probably going to pack it in on her. She may be out before South Carolina. She says she's going to stay in. I don't know. Interesting. I mean, Trump underperformed, I think, here tonight.
He won pretty big here 8 years ago.
Yeah, and there are danger signs for Trump that he can't win in a purple state, which New Hampshire is. That's what tonight's results show us. So she did well in competing against Trump, but you know, a narrow loss is not a win.
Yeah, and Marianne, quickly before we go, there are some warning signs for the Trump campaign out of this tonight, do you think?
No question. And you identified exactly how to beat Donald Trump in the general election here. And believe me, everybody's going to remember exactly how to do that.
All right.
Representative Green, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's great to see you. I see that big smile on your face. I know the energy in the room there has to be electric right now. Tell us how you're feeling, how everybody's feeling. I know you've been on the ground in New Hampshire, out there campaigning for President Trump.
Oh, it's been incredible. This state has been fired up for President Trump. And I think his victory tonight tells the Republican Party exactly what they need to hear. Number one, it declares the primary over because the exit polls have shown that more independents and more Democrat voters have actually voted in the Republican primary than actual Republican primary voters. That tells you something right there. That means that Nikki Haley has been propped up by independents and Democrats, not real Republicans. So Donald Trump is our Republican primary candidate. It's time for Nikki Haley to drop out. She doesn't want an embarrassment in South Carolina.
Congresswoman, can I ask you a question? I mean, talk about the ego, because I think what irks me about what we just saw, which was this super positive speech from Nikki Haley saying she's going to keep going forward. The ego of the campaign and the ego of the candidate at this point now is doing the bidding of the other side, because they know they don't have a path, but they're going to keep doing this. And as long as they keep doing this, they're wasting money for the party. They're also they're wasting the energy. They're distracting. If you coalesce now, you got a better chance in November. The fact they're not doing that, to me, it reeks of arrogance.
Oh, I totally agree with you. This is Nikki Haley setting money on fire. And she's going to continue doing it because not only is she egotistical, she's delusional, absolutely delusional. There is no campaign for Nikki Haley. This is a fake campaign and it needs to be over with. And shame on Nikki Haley for continuing this. It's an embarrassment, not only for her, but it's an embarrassment for anyone that is supporting her. Donald Trump is our Republican nominee, and he is going to win the general election. The polling is showing it every single week. He is beating Joe Biden, and it's time for everyone to get behind Donald Trump. This is a referendum on the Republican Party to listen to Republican voters. We want Donald Trump, and we want the Republican Party to get the message here at loud and clear. Let's go. Let's defeat the Democrats.
Time to take back this country.
I'm hearing that you're polling very well with people under 40.
I beat Trump and Biden with everybody in this country under 45, and I beat them with independents.
And why do you think that is? Why do
I
you
think
young
I'm the
people
only one
gravitate to-
talking about the economy. I'm the only one talking about the housing crisis. There's so much slander about me that I'm anti-vax, that I'm a conspiracy theory, all these things that are not true. If you just watch MSNBC and CNN and you just read the New York Times, you're going to believe that. But young people, people of color, independent voters are getting their news now from podcasters, from long form interviews, and they let me on and they let me talk. And when people, when they see that I'm common sense, I want to solve people's problems. I've been, doing the same thing for 40 years, and I've never run for political office. I never wanted to be president, but I can do this job because I've sued all the agencies that are causing the corruption. And when people hear that, they convert.
Yeah, I like Kennedy.
Most black coffee has 2 ingredients you want, water and coffee beans. But they also have over 400 that you...
All right, that's enough of that. Before we get more too far deep into it. Yeah, it's... yeah, you're right, sir. It is. It's all corrupt there. I was talking with my good friend, Mendo Brendo, about the spin, right? The spin is so good. She keep fighting. She's showing how neocons and the Dems differ. War with China is on the line. Blah, blah, blah. And then I asked him, what do you think about Biden winning on the Democrat side as a write-in candidate? And of course, hilarious. It is hilarious. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the next 10 months are going to be very, very dangerous all the way around. But I don't know if you've I like what Kennedy is saying. I like how he says it. I'm really impressed. I'm continually impressed by the thing Kennedy is saying. I know he gets crap for his voice and all that stuff, but that's why I like the little short clips that you can find of just Kennedy talking about these various issues. And he's right on point, I think, with a lot of this stuff. Very, very interesting to see what is going to happen. And again, it's so refreshing to have more than 1 or 2 choices. And it's going to be really refreshing for people who are like, well, I'm just going to vote for the lesser of 2 evils. There's that third choice now. So hopefully they don't think Kennedy is evil. I don't know. I mean, the propaganda is off the hook here, but I'm sure it is with, Trump and Nikki too. So it's really crazy that these people that want Nikki Haley to win, these are Bush neocons, really. It's the same old. And you can see Trump has done a very good job, I believe, at exposing the corruption in this party, the same way RFK Jr. has done a very good job at exposing the corruption in the Democrat Party. And these are the 2 people I think it's going to come down to. I believe it's going to come down to President Trump and come down to RFK Jr. Now, in your state, my friend Brendo, there may be an opportunity to sign a petition to get Kennedy's name on the ballot, just to get his name on the ballot. Not saying anyone has to vote for Kennedy in California, but just to get his name on the ballot. And if you're interested, if that ever becomes a opportunity, they may need your vote there. Not really a vote, but just say, hey, I'm going to sign up just to get his name on the ballot. That's it. We're going to need that in all of these states. In Hawaii, because Kennedy created his own party in that state, he only needs 800 votes just to get his name on the ballot. But for me, it's very important, man. We've always wanted a third party person, right? We've always wanted that third choice. We have a great opportunity right now. And you can see where I stand. But I really want that opportunity for a third choice for people that don't want to vote for Trump. They don't want to vote for Biden. And then that means that they just won't show up. But if there's a third choice there, maybe they will. Maybe they will. I hope that they will. We'll see. Brenda says, yeah, I like him not just on the MIDI stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, a lot of stuff I like him on. I really do like Kennedy. And of course, I was a Kennedy fan before I was a Trump fan. But, I was a Hulk Hogan fan before I was a Ric Flair fan too. So there you go. That kind of lays it all out where I'm coming from. I will play a little bit of, I'm just waiting. I want to see 100% because for the book that I'm writing, Kennedy and Trump, which Christian Coffins is going to be doing the artwork for that book. I'm really looking forward to that, my friend. And hopefully once the book is done, I can get you on and we'll just talk about all this stuff and talk about whatever, obviously. But we missed you on the last show, but I do hope you'll be able to join us next. I'll try to give you as much notice as possible next time too. I'm very bad at that. While I'm waiting for more, for 100% of the votes to come in, so that I can add that to my book for the New Hampshire, not Shire, as far as I know. They're not hobbits in that state. But I will play just a little bit of Nikki Haley's speech because I have not heard her speech. But from what I'm hearing, Nikki Haley's speech is she's acting like she won the election. So let's just play a few minutes of this. I don't know how much of this I can stand of bird brain, but we'll see. Oh, got it.
Oh, I love her. What a great night. God is so good all the time. Thank you, New Hampshire, for the love, the kindness, the support, and a great night here tonight. Thank you so much. I want to first say thank you to my husband, who I know is watching right now. I love you. We're excited to have you. Thank you. I want to thank my kids who are here, Rita and Naylan and Josh, who have really kind of stepped up and just given me the support I need. You really pull on your family when something like this happens, and I am incredibly blessed by their support. I have my parents at home, and I will always say that the way they raised me, to know that we lived in the best country in the world, but to also know that the best way you appreciate your blessings is to give back. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you so much. To my siblings, to my in-laws, to everybody back at home, to Vicki for helping me take care of Mom and Dad. Thank you for that. I will tell you, it feels like it's been a lifetime, but it has been almost a year that we've been campaigning in New Hampshire. touching every hand, answering every question, being the last person to leave. And we had the most amazing thing happen is the second that we got the endorsement from Governor Chris Sununu.
Chris Sununu, that's the guy. I gotta find that clip.
I mean, a true governor that doesn't stand behind a podium. He shows up at a diner. He shows up at the brewery. He loves the people of New Hampshire. He was been with me every single day at every single event. Chris, I couldn't have done it without you. And I want to thank someone who was with me on day one. He's a patriot. He's a hardcore conservative. And he is my friend, General Don Bolduc. And Sharon, thank you so, so much. I want to congratulate Donald Trump on his victory tonight. He earned it, and I want to acknowledge that. Now, you've all heard the chatter among the political class. They're falling all over themselves, saying this race is over.
It's over. It's done.
I have news for all of them. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go.
It's over.
And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina.
She just completely glossed over the state of Nevada. Didn't even
At
recognize
one
it.
point in this campaign, there were 14 of us running, and we were at 2% in the polls. Well, I'm a fighter. And I'm scrappy. And now we're the last one standing next to Donald Trump. And today we got close to half of the vote. We still have a ways to go, but we keep moving up. For a lot of people, politics is way too personal. It's not personal for me. I voted for Trump twice. I was proud to serve America in his cabinet. I agree with many of his policies. I decided to run because I'm worried about the future of our country and because it's time to put the negativity and chaos behind us. We have an economy that's
Makes sense.
crushing middle-class Americans. We have a border that is totally open and dangerous, creating a disaster in our country.
That's enough of that. I can't take too much more.
Transgender. It's made.
She's just too much. Before I get to some of this Trump speech here, let's see here. Before I get to some of that, Sununu's dad worked as G.W. Bush's White House chief of staff. Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, it all makes sense. There's a huge faction that just wants to make sure that it's not Donald Trump. I was trying to find those Sununu clips, but they were here. I don't know why they're gone or where they are. I know I got a little strike from that too, so I don't know where that went, but I want to see if I can find the Rand Paul clip, because Rand Paul, you know what, I probably have it on my channel, but Rand Paul, never Nikki is what I'm looking for. All right, well, forget that. I'll come back to that. That's on my channel somewhere. I want to hear some of these newer clips here. Let's see what we got. All right, how long is this one? It's about 3 minutes. This one should be good.
Vivek Ramaswamy, a former presidential candidate who did drop out, endorse, and is now in the former president's good graces. Are you in Nashua right now at the party?
I am, Jesse. I'm right here at the party, the after party right here. And look, I think this is a decisive win for Donald Trump. That's what we're seeing tonight. I think there's actually an interesting view of this, which is it's like a terrain for the general election. You have more independents and Democrats, it looks like, voting in this GOP primary than registered Republicans themselves. And many of the largest donors to the Democratic Party have been the largest donors to Nikki Haley, who's Donald Trump's opponent here. So I think this is a prediction of what you're going to see in the general election. And the decisive margin we see tonight is in some ways, I think, something that bodes well for Trump heading into the general election in November to reunite this country. And so in my view, the general election really begins tonight. I think the Republican primary, for all intents and purposes, is over tonight. And I think the party and the country are better off if we see that for what it is.
Is Vivek Ramaswamy calling for Nikki Haley to suspend her campaign?
Look, I do think that would be the right thing for the country, unambiguously. And also just to call a spade, Jesse, as you know, I've not been unafraid to do that in this campaign. If Nikki Haley does stay in, it will send the signal that her only path and what she's playing for is for Donald Trump being eliminated by forces outside of this process, by the judicial system, by secretaries of state in places like Maine or elsewhere. And I think that's downright wrong. I think it's wrong for the Republican Party. I think it's wrong for this country. There is no viable path for her to defeat him through the front door. And so what we're really just seeing is the very people like Reid Hoffman, who are paying for the lawsuits against Donald Trump, now becoming the largest donors or among the largest donors to Nikki Haley. It becomes obvious that the thing they're playing for is Trump to be eliminated by what I view as illegitimate means. And I think that is bad for this party, bad for this country. That's what that will mean. And so for that reason, I do think the right decision for Nikki Haley to make for the country and for the Republican Party tonight or very soon after tonight is to make this a one-person nomination for the Republican nomination and then head to a general election where we can focus, I think, Jesse, this year on delivering a 1980-style moral mandate, a Reagan-style landslide. When you have the likes of John Fetterman even recently talking about the importance of the southern border, that says that many Democrats and independents and libertarians agree with the views of this America First movement. That's why I took myself out of the race to endorse Donald Trump. I think the other Republicans have done the right thing. It's time for Nikki Haley to do the right thing as well and focus on a landslide this November that, dare I say, will reunite this country, and that's why I'm in this.
All right, Vivek, thank you so much. Enjoy the party.
Good stuff there. Just maybe one or two more clips that I want to play, and then where are we at? Oh, yeah, I really just want to go about 30 minutes. Still looking at the results. We're about 81% in. So I did just want to play it, just this one last clip here. This is so good. Sununu, it's hard to find a Sununu clip. And I had a whole thing, and I don't know what the heck happened to it. But anyways, they tried to give me a strike or whatever, a warning. But they blocked the video of Bye-Bye Nikki. That's what I called it. So we'll see what happens here. Here we go.
You launched the Never Nikki initiative last week. Got a lot of people talking. You were warning people from voting in favor of the former UN ambassador Nikki Haley for president. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu, he's been a strong endorser of the former UN ambassador. He was on National Report last week. Here's what he had to say about your new initiative. Let's watch.
I'm sorry, but nobody cares what Rand Paul thinks in this race. This race is in Iowa. It's in New Hampshire. It's in South Carolina. She's the only candidate that's surging. We've made it effectively a one-on-one race at this point between Nikki and Donald Trump.
I think your governor sucks, you know? I do. I do. I really do. I think he's terrible.
So, with all due respect to the senator, maybe when the U.S. Senate actually starts doing something and actually starts delivering some results, they can stand on a soapbox and think that their words matter. But until then, sorry, Rand Paul, nobody cares.
And I don't know if you've seen that clip before, but if you wanted to offer a response.
Well, 10 million people viewed my opinion online, and that's a few people. The governor of New Hampshire has less followers online than a small town mayor in Kentucky. So, you can compare objectively the reach of my endorsement and the reach of his endorsement. But 10 million people viewed it on social media. And I'm just telling my opinion, and the honest to God's truth is that I think Nikki Haley represents the McConnell, Dick Cheney wing of the party. Deficits don't matter. Every foreign intervention is something that we should aspire to. And she cares more about the borders of Ukraine than she cares about our southern border. And look, this is a battle that's gone on in the Republican Party for a long time between the neocons and the Liberty Wing. Those who think that we should always be involved and there's no limit to military spending and intervention. They love the Iraq War. They love the Afghan War. And then there's those of us who think that we should defend our country and respond when attacked. But we shouldn't go out thinking that we're going to remake the world in our image. We think that that's naive, expensive, bankrupts us, and actually ultimately makes us weaker. That is the Nikki Haley wing of the party, and I'm dead set, and I'm a never Nikki.
But he, Governor Sununu didn't speak about this generally. He specifically attacked you and said, no one cares what Senator Rand Paul thinks. Final thoughts to Governor Sununu.
I would say that objectively, if you look at the social media reach of the governor of New Hampshire, which I think he's got, 50, 60,000 people online, 5 million people follow the movement that I'm a part of online. 10 million people were aware of the statements I had to say about being never Nikki. So I'll let the record speak for itself.
Very good. Very good. So just to kind of end this and wrap this up here, still a lot more to come. God bless you all. Thank you all so much. And I hope that you will at least consider voting, even if you go and you just show up to vote and you cast a blank ballot, let them know, hey, I don't like anybody. But we have 3 choices here. We're going to do everything that we can to make sure that you have 3 choices here. We know who they want. They want Biden in. Biden is just like the neocon. It's a neocon choice. It's the same old that we've had. You got something different with Trump for those 4 years. Right after Trump got out, it went right back to the same program. We had the exact same program, just an updated version. Windows 11 instead of Windows 10 is still the same thing. We need something else. We need Ubuntu. That's what we got with Donald J. Trump. A little rough around the edges, but it got the job done. It was more safe, more secure, et cetera, et cetera. You can make those comparisons. But just to finish this off here, for anyone that wants to look at the schedule to see where do we go from here, what comes up next, this is where we can see, and I'm going to pull this up. Here we go. So this is, of course, I probably have to change. There it is. This is the schedule here. It's for where we are, for where we are going here. So you can go to uspresidentialelectionnews.com /2024-primary-schedule, and you'll see everything that is to come. We've only done 2 February. We have a lot more to go. And then we're off to March. Lots of things happening in March here. Keep marching on. It flows into May, as you can see. And then we get into April. It goes all the way to May to June. And there's even this one South Dakota Republican caucus. So it's a mess. This whole thing is a mess. But writing this book has definitely helped me to force me to learn a little bit more about how the electoral process works. And it's not as simple as I thought it was. And that's kind of good because it's not as easy to skew those numbers as I thought that it would be. In the general election, yes, but in these early stages, and it makes a lot more sense about what happened in 2020 when a lot of this was not even there. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to these next 10 months. Like my friend Mendo Brendo says, it's going to be a very dangerous 10 months here. We see a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. 2 Navy SEALs went missing. They're saying that they're dead, but they're pretty much missing. Until they have the bodies, they're still missing to me. Those are just the things that we know of. And the reports, the things are going to come out of what really happened here. And this is the difference. Whereas Trump will go in and just lay down a big airstrike on a military target. And here you had something different, a little more covert. But the facts of whatever happened are going to come out with these wars, and we can compare in the future. We'll be able to compare the difference between how Trump handled the wars and our soldiers, and how Biden did, Barack Obama and Joe Biden did. It's all the same thing as Bush. It's all the same thing as Clinton. On and on and on. So there you go. Take it for what it's worth. God bless you all. And until next time, keep Jesus close to you. God bless.